This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is the one other thing, and I gotta say, guys, I am excited about this. We've been teasing not only you guys, we've been teasing ourselves apparently, because we can't seem to get through a list. Or, no, let me rephrase that. We can't get through more than one list.
Yeah, just can't, yeah.
Apparently, I thought a list of 20 games, we could get through, 2 of those within an hour, and we all learned the hard way. Not the case.
Definitely.
So we owe you. Apologies for the wait, but tonight's episode is going to be, or today's episode, whichever the case may be, is the 10 games. You can only have 10 games to play for the rest of your life. You're on a deserted island, with all the amenities of electricity and such.
Just high-speed internet.
You got it all.
Definitely an RGB keyboard and mouse.
Oh,
you need all that.
It's all the must-have. Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly. But you can only play 10 games the rest of your life. What are they? And I gotta say, guys, I'm honestly and truly, I am excited about this because I'm just so anxious to hear your list. I would like to preface this, much as I did our other list. I'm certain I'm wrong. I have no idea how I'm wrong.
I'm certain you're wrong too, and I'm certain I'm right.
Yeah, there's that. I actually changed one on my list while we were sitting here.
Oh, you're like, oh my god.
But before we get into our list, though, I want to tell you a little a stupid little story from my experiences in the outside world. I went and had a big life event this past weekend. I went and got an oil change.
Oh, yeah.
That's what passes for going out in the world these
days.
Yeah,
this day and age, yes.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
I love the house.
I got all dressed up. Yeah, it was awesome.
I put pants on.
Yeah, it's just really something.
It's a big deal.
But, so I want to tell you, what I saw in the world. But before we do any of that, Kevin, if I'm a tutor and I want to engage, I want to be a part of this because believe me, we want to hear from each and every one of you. Specifically, why our lists suck and what your list would be. But how would I go about doing that?
Oh, easy. Head to our website, tootcast.net. You can check out you can email us at tootcast.net. And I would give you our link to our new YouTube website, but apparently you have to be, a major YouTube player to get a /name.
Ooh.
So it's complex and convoluted. So if you want to go to our YouTube page, right now we only have our current podcast episodes posted, but we're going to eventually start posting videos there as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to get there, go to tootcast.net, and I have a link several places on the main page of how to get to the YouTube page. And please like and subscribe, even episodes you've already heard, please.
Absolutely. Those subscriptions and those likes make a big, big difference. And who knows, guys? I mean, the support we've been shown thus far has been fantastic. So,
yes, thank you.
I'm going to break all tradition and just give a shout-out now. And I'd like to give a shout-out to all of you for all the support you've shown us thus far. You guys have been awesome. And who knows? Maybe we will have that /, one day, that
I hope so.
The one other thing.
Yes,
but,
that'd be wonderful.
This has always been about you guys out there. This has always been, this is what Kevin and I do. These are conversations we have.
Yes.
And, we love having you with us. So please reach out, comment, like. It all makes a difference, and we love hearing from you. So before we get into our list, though, I go to get my oil changed this weekend. No big thing. But I see a guy out in the world, and he's wearing a shirt, and it's immediately made me think of you because it's got the TARDIS, which stands for something.
Time and relative dimension in space.
And the shirt simply read, "Knock knock, who's there? Doctor." And I laughed.
Yeah, you laughed at a Doctor Who joke. I like it.
Because I like when they don't give it to you.
Yes.
When they just lead you there. Because everybody, everywhere, sees that shirt and immediately says, Doctor Who. Even though you know that's where they're leading you.
Yes, they led you to the,
But it's like, look under there.
The stream. I like that. Yeah, I actually have a TARDIS throw blanket over there. So, I'm a fan of Doctor Who. I'm not a fan of the original series. It just was too slow for me. The remake, I'm really into.
I give R.E.O. Speedwagon props for playing the Doctor, I don't know who that was. The dude just had a fro.
Oh, the guy with the curly hair?
Yeah.
He's actually one of the more famous ones, yeah.
I remember the end of the Doctor Who when they ran the credits and it had that weird tunnel. Scared the shit out of me as a kid. Yeah, just creepy as hell. And that somehow, actually, I think that made the whole show worth the price of admission. Yeah. And I tried on the new one. I did.
Yeah.
I tried.
It's tough because it's supposed to be super family friendly, and it was originally made to be educational. So it has some of that vibe of campiness that it always had.
I did learn something. I learned that I don't like Doctor Who.
You don't like Doctor Who. There's Charlize doesn't like Doctor Who as well, but I did make her watch the episode with the Angels.
I watched the Angels.
And that's one of the better episodes. And there is a handful of episodes I think non-Doctor Who fans would like. But I think collectively, there's probably 90% you would hate. But there might be 10% you wouldn't mind watching.
It's one of those I want to like it, so
Yeah.
it pains me even more that I don't.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know?
You have to write really silly things because it is really silly.
I guess my problem with it was it just wasn't good at all. I
Yeah.
did not enjoy watching it, listening to it, any part in between, and
Yeah.
I typically love that kind of stuff.
It's weird too because it's the same creator writer that the Sherlock episodes.
And Sherlock was a good show.
Yeah, Moffat. Yeah, great show.
Yeah.
And I think that the ones that he wrote, specifically of the new series, are considered the best ones.
Gotcha.
So he didn't write every single episode, but the ones he did is like, oh my god, those are the best.
And I know people love it. I know you love it, and it's just not my jam.
I haven't watched the last 2 seasons of it because I'm waiting to see how it works out because I have a female doctor now.
I was gonna say they've been through like 15 doctors at this point, haven't they?
Definitely, yeah. So I just they regenerate. If you watch it, you know.
I would.
But
Well, they're time travelers, so I suppose you can give them lots of leeway there. Right?
yes, they've been to the beginning of time, end of time. It's kind of interesting. I do like the show, but when I first watched a couple episodes of the new one, I wasn't into her yet, so I wanted to wait till some more episodes came out to see if I can binge watch it and see if I can get into it. So
Gotcha.
we'll see. I haven't read any reviews. I don't know anything. Eventually, I'll watch this.
I
past
don't
2
either. I
seasons.
just saw that dumb joke of a
Yeah.
shirt, and it made me chuckle.
I do like Doctor Who, but yeah.
It was good.
But I am
so,
lame.
And on that note, too,
Yeah.
actually, before, boy, I'm really just teasing everybody, but
Yeah.
myself included. But that new Dune, that's coming out sometime soon.
Yeah, I've been reading some interesting things. I know you're very like, this is not going to work out, and you're pessimistic about it.
Oh, it's
but
completely going to blow.
It's going to blow, but I
I
don't
can't
know.
wait. It's going to suck.
But is it going to suck as bad as the sci-fi episodes that they threw out there? And I don't know. It just
Oh, like the sci.
they did some
the sci-fi
channel.
channel.
Yeah, the sci-fi
Yeah,
channel
that
did some
sucked,
episodes.
too.
It sucked, but I feel like there's going to be better than that, and I feel like they
hope
got
so.
some decent actors lined up to play a lot of the important parts.
It'll be interesting.
And I think it's
They
going to
better
be.
nail Chani. I better love Chani because I'm supposed to love Chani. And Sean Young, I don't care if
Yeah.
you're crazy. Just throwing that out there.
Well, I think they're releasing the Sisters one first. The Dune Sisterhood of where the heck the Bene Gesserit.
Bene Gesserits.
Yeah, I think they're.
Damn, I love the
Yeah.
fucking folklore to that. It's so good. Such a good book.
So it's gonna be multiple different views of what's coming out. So I think it's gonna be very interesting. I'm definitely gonna binge watch it because I want it to succeed.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And honestly, I'm just trying to temper my hopes.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
just gonna tell you right now, it's gonna suck because honestly, let's face it, I've got a like 90+% chance
Yeah.
of being right, but. God, do I wish this is going to be in that 10%. I would love it.
It's possible since nowadays when it's on HBO, I forget what channel it's gonna be on, but it just feels like it's gonna be better.
All I can say is thank God I saw the movie before I read the book.
Oh yeah, I can see
Because
that.
I can watch the movie.
I did the same thing. I saw the movie first, and then I'm like, well, I got to read this book.
Yeah. And oh
And
my
like,
God.
well, they left a lot out.
Yeah, exactly. It turns out they barely touched on the story.
Barely, but because of that, I can, even though the movie made no money, I can go back and watch it and say, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And I love the alternate ending that they should have put in with the Sting. It was a lot longer.
I don't know,
you know.
not so much I've actually seen that.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
we're seeing some alternate endings in that.
They
because
got,
changed
David
it.
Lynch got a little artsy fartsy there with the,
Yeah.
I can't remember the girl's name, but her with the scene with the knife where it's just very cinematic and artsy. And
Yeah.
I get it. It was when she kills the Baron there.
Yeah, Harkonnen.
Yeah, I get it. It was a big scene,
Yeah.
but I think they could have done a lot differently with that character. And this is probably a whole nother show.
Yeah, this is a whole
but
nother show.
Just suffice it to say, if we haven't talked about Dune before, Dune is wow.
Yeah.
It's just that good. It's a lot though. I mean,
Yeah.
reading it, it's heavy. There's a lot to it.
But I don't hate. I'll never hate the movie. I mean, I can sit and watch it again and enjoy it.
I could too, but that's only because if I'd read that book first
Yeah.
and then saw that steaming pile of crap,
Yeah.
I would be furious.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't because, everything. I mean, I love every part
Yeah,
of it.
because I think that Duke Atreides, Colin McLaughlin did a great job. I just think, and
Chris
the Baron was
Christopherson
pretty.
as the father.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my
Yeah,
God,
it
it's
just-
an all-star cast.
Oh yeah. I had
Did
it
I
right
mention
there.
Sean Young as a hottie in her head?
Sean Young was a
Yeah.
hottie in there. You had Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what his name is. I had to think of what his
Actually,
name is.
we
Picard.
talked about handles. Every once in a while, I'll bust out Duncan Idaho as
Duncan. Yeah.
is a character of mine. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, I seriously am dying. It's just, again, guys, it's gotten to the point where there are things where I just don't even want to talk to Kevin anymore unless I'm on the air because I want to share it with all of you. So unfortunately, we got to get through some stuff before we get to our list. But that being said,
This
let's
show's
not
ruining my
tease.
friendship.
Yeah, I know. Let's not tease anybody anymore
Okay.
because I want to hear your list. So,
Well-
same things. We're going to work in reverse, right?
Yes, number 10, and last time I started, so let's you start this
Oh,
time.
look at that. Spicing
yes,
it up.
spicing
I like
up.
it.
The host Sean starts.
My number 10, and actually we've talked about, in fact, I think this is predictable. I'll say it that way. But my number 10 is a game called Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh.
The OG, the original. The graphics leave a lot to be desired. You build an amusement park, you set prices, you do basically just the money management. And each park, basically, you'll be given a mission, get so many people in your park or do, earn X number of dollars, so on and so forth. But even after you complete the mission, you can just play the park for an indefinite period of time. My brother-in-law, epically, in our family, he's got a park he's been playing. He's had open for literally years. Like, it's just, every time he plays the game, it's the same park. And
I'm just going to manage my property.
pretty much, yeah. It just manages his kingdom, and it's hysterical because, it's good fun. And, gameplay-wise, it is the same thing. I said in the previous episode, it's pretty much a path-building simulator, and it really is. But the playing isn't really where you entirely get the joy of it. When you build a ride and you are watching your people come off of it, and they're jumping up and down, they're like, yeah, that ride was awesome. You feel good about that. You're like, yeah, my people love my ride. And so watching your people, it's as dumb as it sounds, it's truly enjoyable. And honestly, my wife and I quote that game to this day because, the game would auto-name things. So I built go-karts, and if it was the first time, it would name it Go-Karts number 1.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. You never guess what they named Go-Karts number 3, but, be that as it may.
Yeah.
And so you'd see your people sometimes, and they'd be walking around, and they'd say something like, Go-Kart number 1 is really good value. And it's one of those things that Mickles and I will say that, like we call them the normals, the rest of the world, are just one day going to look at us like we're out of our effing minds because, we'll go somewhere and I'll be like, oh, car wash number 1 was really good value.
That's a good inside joke there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a throwback to that game. But, definitely recommend it. Once again, good old games. I think I spent like $3 on it.
Yeah, I feel like GOG, not to keep advertising for GOG without any money from them, but I just looked at this week, they have another sale of older games that just seems awesome.
Yeah, seriously, GOG, if anybody from GOG or affiliated with them listens, you seriously should be sponsoring us at this point. And
Yes, please.
Honestly, I wouldn't put my name on anything unless I actually believed in it. If it's not clear, I believe in GOG. The service they provide is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, giant fan.
It
giant
just
fan.
works. It just works. But yeah, great game, and literally dollars. Money well spent.
Oh, and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is on sale this week for $10, so definitely go pick that up.
$10. That's not even on sale. That's just they sell it for $10.
They just have it for $10, but yeah.
Yeah, if it were on sale, it'd be like $5. Yeah, well worth $10 though.
Yeah, so highlight brand. Oh, Firewatch is on sale this week, so if you like a one of those walking simulators with a story, it's one of the better ones.
Huh,
So there's a mystery there. I have it. I purchased that game a while ago, probably for $20. But yeah, it's a Firewatch, and you basically watch for forest fires, and you radio control another woman in a different fire tower, and then there's a murder mystery that goes on. So it's kind of an interesting story. $5, well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, man. You end up with such a backlog. I have such a backlog of games because they're just so cheap.
Yeah, I play so many games, so I feel like I play a lot of little games, so I feel like I can get through a lot of little games. But yeah, when big games come out, like when Cyberpunk comes out, I'm not going to play anything else but that.
Yeah,
and it's really going to suck up all my time.
It's just going to be gone for a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. The show's going to be canceled, folks, when Cyberpunk 27 comes out.
Yeah, I'm not going to have time.
Yeah, I'll show up anyway with a mic and we'll listen to you play if that's what it comes to.
Yeah, maybe I'll stream it.
But yeah, exactly. Hopefully we have the streaming figured out by then. But what's your number 10? That was mine, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Number 10, Portal 2.
Oh.
Not Portal 1, Portal 2.
I own it.
You own it. You can actually play that cooperatively.
Okay.
Not the entire game. There's a cooperative section where you saw puzzles together, and it's not the nightmare that it sounds like being a puzzle game. A lot of puzzles, like I'm playing Zelda right now, and Zelda Breath of the Wild has mean puzzles.
Oh, they're tough. Yeah.
They're mean.
Yeah.
Portal 2 is not mean puzzles. the lighthearted puzzles. You know, you've seen them, but that's not what's fun about it. Portal 1 had puzzles too, but Portal 2 is higher on the list because I played the game like 10, 15 times easy. It's a story. And you can't believe a puzzle game has a story, but this thing has a story and has well-written characters.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the guy who plays the robot, I forget his name, but he was, I think it was in either the original version of The Office, but he's like a very famous British guy who does a great robot voice.
Oh, okay, nice.
I have to look him up sometime, but he's part of it. And then you got Gladys, and then you got, you know, the Juno's dad,
Yeah.
who just steals the show.
Talked
just
about him.
steals
I
the show.
love that he's Juno's dad.
Yeah, so the game is fun. It's creative. It's quirky. And it has, since it's made using the Source engine, it has those moments like Half-Life where, because it is in the same universe as Half-Life, so you're playing these puzzles and Gladys wants to kill you at some point, and then you escape behind the walls. And it's a whole different game. The game changes. So you're not doing the same puzzles anymore.
Okay.
So it becomes more of an adventure. So it's not like a straight puzzle
You've
game.
talked about it for years, and it has a big following. I know that. I will have to give the Portal games a try. But you know me. I don't care. I got to try one first.
Yeah, you get to try one for one. Don't get me wrong, one is a great game.
Yeah.
But I read back they're just trying out the physics of it.
Yeah.
So the puzzles were there. It had the great end song, which you already know the end song to that game.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the Portal 1 was a fun game, but it was shorter. It had the one quick little storyline, and then you finish. Portal 2 was like 3 different storylines. You know, you definitely would feel that there's progression as you went through the game.
It makes sense though. Portal 1 was more like a proof of concept, if you will.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It became popular, so then it's like, oh, well, sure, we'll make another one. We'll make a full, we'll really go at it this time.
Yeah, and they even went back and modified Portal 1, Valve did, and added achievements, and then you can there's a clock radio, you can take to certain points of the game and give you like, achievements.
Yeah.
Because it would get, what you can hear when you move the clock radio someplace in a room, that you could hear a signal, pick up a signal.
Oh, I got
Then
you.
you set it down and it would, it would say something.
Oh, that's neat.
And then you can learn about Rat Boy. That's a whole thing. That's another thing in the
I
game.
will, again, on the ever-growing list, but I know I have them both, so I'll...
And I've
I'll get
always
to 'em.
wanted to play the multiplayer cooperative, because it's not, you play 2 robots, you don't even play any of the main character in the game.
Okay, yeah, no,
So,
we can definitely do that.
Yeah, so it seems fun.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely give it a try. No, it's not all about killing you, it's just that's
Yeah.
a big perk.
You can kill each other in it.
Oh, that's even better then.
You can.
Yeah.
You just reassemble.
What was the game? Was it a Halo one where friendly fire was on, but every time you killed me, I got the option of just kicking you out, which was awesome
Oh,
because you were the server.
that was Halo.
Yeah.
That was Halo. You would kick me.
And you did it to me, and yeah, we just completely crashed the server because
Yeah, and then you were done for the night, so you're like, I'm just gonna ban him.
yeah. Yep.
so you ban me right at the end of the evening.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
don't think
we're
you
done
believed
now.
me the one time because we were flying around in spaceships,
Yeah.
and I said all I'm going to do is shoot you, and
Yeah.
then we're flying around, and all I'm doing is shooting you.
Yes.
And you're like, why am I getting hit?
Yeah, it's like, well, who's hitting me? Yeah, because usually games like this are like stormtroopers with terrible aim, you know?
That's great. Boy, we digress. But
Yeah.
okay, Portal 2 is your number 10.
So I digress real quick. That reminds me, I saw a meme the other day, had a stormtrooper in front of a urinal, totally missing it.
That's fantastic.
And it said typical.
Yep, typical. That's great. That is good.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all right. Yeah. It's good thing.
Okay. Number 9 for you.
Number 9. I hemmed and hawed on which one to go with, but I ultimately landed on Tony Hawk 2.
Oh.
Now, granted, I know that's going to change the minute the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake comes
Yes.
out, just because more bang for your buck. But I really enjoyed the first Tony Hawk 1 and 2 games. 2 introduced manuals and reverts for any skaters out there. That should make some sense.
What?
Yeah. And I used to be a skater, so
Yeah.
it's all near and dear to me. And it's the closest I've ever come to just kind of feeling a little bit like you're on a ramp there for a brief moment. It's very fleeting, but it brings me back in a weird sort of way. But then it's just fun as hell to do these ridiculous tricks that aren't even humanly possible.
Yeah.
But just a lot of good gameplay if you're into that kind of thing. If you never skateboarded or never into any of that, I don't know so much that would be any fun. But for me, absolute hoot. So honestly, I love the whole Tony Hawk series. They're fun. Some are better than others, no question. 2 I like specifically because of the locales, and I like that it introduced ways to keep the combinations going, so that made it really interesting.
Yeah.
But whatever I think it's 5 for the PS4, whatever the latest one is.
I don't know.
That's it's honestly got the same feel. You know, if you like one, you pretty much like them all. They're just it's fun to go around, do tricks and whatnot. No real point to the game either, but fun nonetheless.
Well, I used to play a skating game on the Commodore 64. What a shock! I played games on that system.
Skate or Die.
That's it.
Played it on the NES. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
I played
see?
Skate or Die too as well.
Oh, so I never played Skate or Die 2, but I used to play Skate or Die, so I had a lot of tricks in it and some from what I remember.
It was fun. It was a thing at the time, you know. It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. You go back, the game was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
But at
don't
the
know.
time, that's all we had.
I still like all the Commodore 64 games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I like them, but you will never have the perspective of a kid today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We like them because we're the age we are.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, you hold up Skate or Die. I don't care what version, what system. You hold that up to anything on a PS4, you're going to be sorely disappointed with your Skate or Die. But anywho, what's your number 9 then?
Number 9, and this is and you'll notice a lot of my games, apart from Portal 2, are games I can get lost in because I'm going to be on a desert island.
Well,
I want a game I can really get lost in.
I got genres.
Yes.
So I wanted to cover a lot of
Cover
ground.
the skating. So in this case, it's a game called No Man's Sky
Oh, okay.
because I can get lost in the game. I can definitely get lost. I mean, the universe is pretty much infinite in the darn game. So yeah, you can just play that for I can play that for years straight.
Yeah, sure. And I've got that on my list now. I'm waiting for it to go on sale. But we talked about that in one of the previous episodes because it came out with that DLC, and they've props to that development team.
Yes.
Sounds like they've-
Hello Games.
Yeah, it sounds like they've done a lot to. It sounds like they let a lot of people down.
Yeah,
and
they
it
did.
sounds like they've been making good on it since.
I feel like they're now held as an example to all the other game companies like EA and BioWare that keep screwing things up, Bethesda that keeps on putting out really empty games with nothing in it, and they're like, you could be Hello Games and fix it.
Yeah.
But some games like EA don't.
Well, I mean, it's the caliber of a person's character. It's not whether or not you fall down. We all fall down, and anybody who says otherwise is lying. That's not at all how you measure somebody. It's how one picks themselves up. It's what do you do about it now? We're all gonna F up.
Yeah.
I'm particularly gifted, but again, it's Hello Games or anyone else. Yeah. Let's face it. I don't know if there's a company out there that really that produces a lot of games and hasn't released some piece of crap at some point or another.
Yeah.
But you can make it good.
You can make it good. Yeah, back in the old days, you would just get it on cartridge or disc, and that was it. There was no need for updates. Companies had to put it at complete day one.
No, Descent to Undermountain, I believe, was Interplay. It was a D&D game. You literally had to download a patch to install it. I shit you not. You couldn't even install it without the patch.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you did,
Yeah.
the game was pretty much unplayable anyway.
Oh.
It was pretty bad.
Probably the downfall of Interplay.
Yeah, that was like that was one of those not my job situations.
Yeah.
Like nobody
Yeah.
cared.
Nobody cared. Number 8 for you, sir.
Number 8, I actually crossed out 2 things. I put Pools of Radiance, and then I was like, who am I kidding? I can only play one game the rest of my days. Got to be Cursed as your bonds.
Ah, see? I do like that storyline.
It's just great because you can do crazy stuff, and you can actually. There's a way to take your high-level guys and start the game over again.
I think I did that, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds familiar.
I did too. Because there's a scene with all these black dragons that you're just supposed to be meek and like, please don't eat me, black dragons. But if you have a mighty party with you, you can slaughter all of them. And I know that because that's how I roll. And but I didn't pick either of those actually. And the reason being is I'm on an island.
Yes.
There's only so many ways I can play both those games. So what I went with, to stick with the theme though, is I went with a game called Dungeon Hack, which, Good Old Games, man, I should be working for you. I have a copy of it now from Good Old Games. And if you're familiar at all with the Eye of the Beholder D&D series, that kind of dungeon crawl where you're basically going through the dungeon, it's first-person perspective, and you've got those kind of controls, Dungeon Hack is just a randomized version of that. You can set whatever parameters you want. Like, I don't like teleporting puzzles. They just annoy the crap out of me, so I just turn them off. Things like that. And you can make the dungeon like 5 levels if you want, or you can make it, I think, 30 is the max. And it's just a completely randomized experience with D&D rule set can make any type of character you want, and there's pretty much no point to it. You know, you're getting through the dungeon.
Yeah.
But
Dungeon hack.
yeah, exactly. But it's truly, it captures the spirit of it all. And I couldn't tell you how many times I've beaten that game. Seriously, I mean, 30, 50, a lot.
That's the game you won on Desert Island.
Yeah, because you'll play it again and again because you'll just make a different character type. You'll play it a little differently. It's all randomized. It's no great thinking. You're not going to be stumped like, what do I do strategy here? Yeah, it's not going to happen. But that's my number 8, though. I recommend it. So,
Great.
What do
Okay.
you got?
Mine is some of these games will be familiar from my other list, but this one is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The game is, BioWare. It got a universe that I really enjoy. I like the characters. There's a weird thing about these games is that when you complete the game all the way to the end, all the characters are like robots. They don't say anything interesting anymore. They just kind of like all the dialogue options are done. You go to talk to them, it goes hi, and that's it.
Yeah.
And before then, every conversation is full and filled, and you may not hit every dialogue tree, so it feels different, and every time you play it,
Yeah.
because you may not ask the same questions, you may not talk to
Exactly.
the same people the same way. So the only way to really enjoy the game is to start over.
Yep.
With a different character class, with have different choices. The game's beautiful. I do recommend modding it.
beautiful.
I do recommend modding the game because there's some things that is tedious. Once I play a game like a few times, I hate anything that's tedious.
Yeah, I do remember that had a great deal of walking, and me and my navigational skills, I'm sure that didn't help.
Yeah, the walking was okay. You can make it go faster once you have a horse, which is very helpful in the game. You can definitely get a horse. But then as far as the war table goes, you use this like a mission. You'd wait the 3 hours, it says. No, that's the first thing I mod out. So I got a war table. I click on something that's done instantly.
Nice.
So that is definitely worth modding. It's no point in waiting. It's cool to wait in the beginning when you first play it, but no, I'm done waiting.
Yeah.
I want instant gratification.
Just do it and get it done. Yeah.
Get it done. That way I can get on with the missions. The missions and there's branching paths. You can complete one mission, it closes off another.
Sure.
So, and in fact, I just played it like a month ago, and I played a mission actually I've never played. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I've been choosing the Wizards the whole time. This time I'm choosing the Templars. I'm like, it's totally different,
That's awesome.
So yeah, definitely the game is, it's there for the story, and definitely mod to get rid of the tedium. But apart from it's almost a perfect game if it wasn't tedious.
And that kind of game too, the helping the Templars, for example, that might have ripples later in the game that you've never seen before because you've never helped the Templars before,
Yep.
like things of that nature. It's neat.
Yeah, I do like the game a lot.
It's a good pick. A lot of replayability. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So you're number 7.
Well,
right?
yeah, under the heading of, repeats, there's definitely repeats on this list compared, but Final Fantasy VII OG, the original.
Yeah.
Love it. It's it's a great game, and replayability wise, I mean, it is what it is in the sense that you're not getting randomized adventures. You're going to know what the overarching storyline is. I mean, yeah, it's open world. You can go wherever you want, but the story's going to be the story. That was me, guys. I forgot to mute my phones. But it's a great grinder. There's a lot with that materia system, there's just a lot of variation there, and you can only really have a party of 3, but they have 9, 10, 12 characters. There's a bunch of characters, so you could theoretically just play with different parties, have a different experience that way.
Yeah.
I end up just picking the people I like repeatedly, but it's possible. So from a playability perspective, and it's just that I love the game, that's why I went with that.
Okay.
So what do you got for number 7?
Number 7 is, and you'll notice a theme here. I always have rules when I pick out games now. If we're gonna be the Desert Island, and it's gonna be Fallout 4, but with mods.
It's a good pick.
I one of those games, and you'll notice a lot of the games I pick, for me to last for the years I'm gonna be living on a desert island, I need Fallout 4 with all the mods. It just makes it so much more fun.
I'd like to change my number 8. I'm getting rid of Dungeon Hack. I'm going with Fallout 4.
Fallout 4 is it's a fun game.
It is.
It wasn't as well received as Fallout 3 to some people, but I don't know. It's got to be on my list. It's got to be on my list because I like the way it plays out.
I don't like the mental exercise of comparing 3 to 4 because 3 was a phenomenal game.
It was.
But 4 was also a very, very good game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really compare the two. I liked them both.
The first time I go to Diamond City and I realize that it's the Red Sox Stadium,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And they're all
awesome.
living there. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy the game. And here's the funniest thing is the first time I ever played the game, I stopped the game and some family was come over. My nephew Scotty, he was really young at the time. This game's been out for years. And we're in a scene where I didn't realize at the time, but it was like my father. So Scotty, he goes in, kills him. So I didn't even think anything of it. I just met the guy.
Yeah.
And I just played the rest of the way.
That's great.
I played the entire game. I didn't know he was my father.
That's great.
I didn't know because my nephew killed him right away, and I'm like, I didn't know who that was.
Yep.
So I cut off that mission.
Dead guy.
Dead
Yep.
guy. He's just a dead guy. Who cares about the Institute? Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, I got to get rid of Dungeon Hack because I forgot.
Yeah.
I knew I forget stuff. How do I forget Fallout?
Yeah. My list was right.
It kind of was, though, yeah. And seriously, guys, 3 and 4, if you haven't
Yes.
played one of them, just pick one. They're
Yes.
cheap,
Yes.
they're money well spent.
And use GOG because it's stable for Fallout 3.
Oh, for Fallout 3, don't even bother buying it on Steam.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. I think I own it on Steam, and I definitely own it on GOG because I wanted to actually play it.
I feel like I'm, a smart guy when it comes to getting games working, and I did everything possible.
Yeah.
Everything they said to make it
you
stable.
I think you did a laying of hands on mine, too, when I was playing it.
And you can make it somewhat stable, but not rock solid.
Yeah.
And GOG, rock solid.
And that was... It drove me crazy. It was completely brand... You could play for like 6 hours sometimes, and it would be fine. And then other times you'd play 20 minutes, and it's like, nope, not having it. And it would just repeatedly do that. You never knew what you were getting.
Yeah. So kind of depressing, but but I wish you would have played. GOG had that version. I'm not sure it had it out at the time.
It's a good pick though. Really good pick.
Nice. And then what is your pick for number 6?
Oh, number 6 actually. No one should be surprised this is on the list, including you. That would be full admission here. I forgot my list tonight because I'm an idiot.
Yep.
So I had to have. I couldn't remember all of it, and I called my wife and had her read me the list. And she gets to this one, and she just says, "Huh? Oh, I know what this is." She says, "Unreal Tournament 2004," because I write UT 2K4.
That is awesome.
And my wife knew what that was. So, Unreal Tournament 2004. You might have heard of it. It's
May have.
It's a shooter. It's an arena shooter. It got a flaw where you generally beat me, but otherwise it's a great game.
It depends on the map.
Yeah, it does.
Because if it's a small map where it's just a free-for-all, you can find my head and get rid of it.
I generally do well with the Pandemonium.
Yes.
But it is... From a replayability, well, I couldn't make this list and not have that.
Yeah, I know. It's just so much fun. And
I presume we're on this island together, too.
Yes.
By the way, 'cause
well, my number 6 is going to be interesting.
But infinitely moddable, too, when you get right
Yes.
down to it. So
The mutators.
We could do co-op shooters
Yes.
with that. Or we could run around Instagib and I could shoot you in the head, like
Yes.
I like to do.
Yeah, so we don't really do much of anything else. We don't do capture the flag or any of those other modes that it has. No,
We do last man standing sometimes, but
Yeah.
it becomes tedious after
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Because, but...
We're just hunting each other and can't find each other. That's annoying,
Exactly. We'd rather just
No, let's shoot each other.
shoot each other. Lots of death and carnage, and that's generally what we like. And the story's great, where it's go kill everybody.
Yes.
There's your story. The end.
The end. And the graphics hold up. It's Unreal. It's using the early version of Unreal Engine and still holds up.
Yep. And you know what it is? You fight like Nolly.
You fight like Nolly, yes. You definitely fight like Nolly.
You fight exactly like Nolly. So that had to be on the list here, and I'm weighing it in at number 6.
Number 6.
So what do you got, my friend?
My number 6 is Unreal Tournament 2004.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. I swear to you, fans, we
Yes.
have not looked at each other's lists.
But I cheated because I put 2 games on that line. I put Unreal Tournament 2004 if we're on the island together. If we're not, I don't care.
Oh, that's great. So what is number 6 if we're not on the island?
We're not
together?
there. I put Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So if we can play Unreal Tournament 2004, I don't care about Fallout New Vegas anymore.
I am shaking my head. If you have New Vegas on there, so you just did Fallout 4, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to be Fallout 3. Because if you have New Vegas and you do not have Fallout 3, our show just got canceled.
It just
folks.
got canceled,
It's
yes.
just over.
But
All
yeah,
I know is a lie.
But I was holding in that that number 6 was Unreal Tournament 2004 for me, and so was for you too.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It is number 6.
Yes.
Because it had to be on the
Yes,
list.
it's having the list. It's not the top game, but it's a blast.
It's definitely on the list,
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Definitely on the list. So yeah, so I got nothing more to say. We said everything about what we can about Fallout 2004, and if we are on an island together, I'll play Fallout New Vegas and think about you. But I'll be a little bit sad.
I do love the fact that first we came up with the idea of Desert Island, and of course we went through like way too many caveats as far as how is this
Yes.
island situated.
You never said we're
is
playing
there-
together.
Yeah, and we still find loopholes. Like, so yeah, are we both there together? How does this work?
Yeah, so I wasn't sure, so I hedged my bet on that line.
I
So it really
love that.
depended on if you're going to be there or not.
That is fantastic.
That's hilarious, and yeah, I can't make that up.
That is awesome. Yeah, that makes me happy. And again, guys, I hope you're enjoying this because I've been excited about
Yeah,
this.
it's creepy.
And,
Okay.
well, before we get to the remaining 5.
Yes, 5. We're going to make it in one episode. Exciting.
Exactly. We're gonna do it, folks. But before we get to that, we want to hear from you, folks. This
Yes.
is great and all, and you know, Kevin and I, well, clearly we're of a somewhat like mind on some things. UT 2K4, for example. But
Yes.
we want to hear from you, and we want to hear all of it. We want to hear your list. We want to hear
Yes.
why our list sucks so much.
Yes.
And I know it's out there. I know there's a game, and I want to hear it from you guys.
Yes.
I know there's a game that you and I will read and we'll be like, son of a bitch, I didn't even think of that. And that belongs on the list as well. I have no idea what it is, though. So how do they contact us?
You can email us at 2cast.net. You can go to our website, 2cast.net. You can check out our YouTube page. And I think that some of these discussions might be a good spot for our Discord server that we do have. So I think we should start using that.
That's excellent, too.
And
yeah.
there is a link for that right on our webpage as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, check out our Discord server. Yeah, I think you and I I occasionally post on there because
Yes.
nobody's on there. But, well, you and I are on there.
Yes.
But if more people join, yeah, I'll try to make it a point to be more active there.
Yeah, I think that might be a good place for discussions on games and whatnot. So definitely we'll start using that more often.
Awesome. Well, let's defer to the fans, too.
Yes.
So whatever, we want to hear from you. Whatever way works best, and we'll gravitate toward that.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, all right, number 5. Well, again, in fact, I think my whole list is fairly predictable. But, I couldn't make it through a list without having Diablo make some kind of show up in some regard. So, I went with Diablo 2. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I went with Diablo 2.
Of course you did.
Obviously, if they do the remake, all bets are off. But Diablo 2, I mean, once again, lots of replayability. You've got, 7 different classes, I think? It's something ridiculous like that. Diablo 2 worked a lot different than Diablo 3, too, where you had to commit. The first time you played through Diablo 2, you completely fucked up your character. Absolutely. Just probably without fail. I'm sure there's like that one dude that's like, oh my god, I happened to build it correctly. But, odds were against. And I like that. So then, you played through it and then you learned a lot. And the whole time you're thinking, boy, next time I do this, I'm going to build this guy this way. And you really had a strategy to it. And Diablo 3, I both love and hate it. The fact that you can change any character to any build is nice because you're not being penalized for trying new things. I do like that. But ultimately, it pans out the same way that those games often do. There's one alpha build. And let's face it, we all go to it.
Yeah.
So,
Like these days, you just Google it, but back then, yeah, you wouldn't be doing that.
yeah, but once you know that alpha build, you just make that alpha build, and yeah, it works because it's the alpha build. It is the top of the line. Diablo 2 definitely had that as well, but again, it was unforgiving. Like, you got skill points each level, and you allocated those, and if you allocated them wrong, well, guess what? You allocated them wrong.
Oh, there's no respect.
Have a nice day.
No respect in that game at all?
There were, but it wasn't easy. You
Yeah.
had to pay for it, basically.
Oh.
So anyway, great game. Graphics definitely do not hold up all that well, but we've played it. I mean,
Yeah, I played it
it
together.
was neat, and the story I think is still top notch. Not as scary as the first one though.
Yeah.
So, what about you? What do you got for number 5?
Number 5, I have Witcher 3.
Oh, good one. Good pick.
Because again, you'll notice a lot of my games are gonna be the big open world games because if I'm gonna be on, I can devote a year to each one of these games.
You're playing it the rest of your life. Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
you got. So Witcher 3 is a good pick.
Witcher 3, great story. It's not necessarily the best RPG for me. That's why it's on number 5 and not number 1, is because you're playing Geralt. You're not role playing as yourself.
Yeah.
You're role playing as a dude.
Yep.
So that, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not as high on a list because you can't do whatever you want and be whatever you want.
And with Fallout, you make your guy.
You're
You're playing you.
Yes.
Or, as the case may be, Valeris.
Yeah, Valeris, definitely. So Witcher 3, and it has the best DLCs in the business.
Nice.
And CD Projekt Red. If you buy this game, buy it from GOG because they get all the money.
I gotta finish 2 at some point. I don't even know what I'm doing in 2 anymore. I'm probably gonna have to start over. I don't think I'm very far into it, but I played a little bit of 3 and it was so beautiful. So
Well, I just watched a video on YouTube about the Witcher series, and when they made Witcher 1, they're like, yeah, we're not gonna make any money. And then they sold a bunch of copies,
Oh, yeah.
and so they made Witcher 2. And like, we're not gonna make any money. So they contradicted some of the story from Witcher 1 to Witcher 2.
nice.
They did. It didn't make sense. And then Witcher 3, they went and retconned a lot of the stuff. So it really is very plausible for someone to go play Witcher 3 and just enjoy the hell out of it and don't even care about the original because it's probably
yeah.
all broken anyway, the
Sure.
storylines. So, but I do recommend Witcher 3 because it is not the same. It's a completely different game than Witcher 1 and 2. It's just not the same game. It's like as big a difference between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. It's even bigger than that.
I played a bit, and yeah, it just, I mean, the graphics are so different.
Really good.
So different.
Plays different. The world's bigger.
I didn't even get to the
yeah.
DLCs, though. I did not play that far.
The DLCs are the best.
Wonder what
Absolute
came
best.
out, because, boy, it had to be pretty effing good to make me stop playing Witcher 3. So
Yeah.
wonder what it was that came out.
I don't know. I feel like we played a lot of Unreal Tournament back then.
That's awesome. Well, a really good pick. That's
Yes,
a really
Witcher
good
3.
pick.
Love the game. Still do.
And that's another one, too, guys. You can
Yeah.
find that on sale ridiculously cheap. And
Worth every cent.
I can even endorse that, even though I barely played it. It's definitely worth it. Well, all right. Number 4 for me is one that, damn it, we are going to play some more, and
Yep.
you're going to see the genius of it. But here's a Might and Magic 3.
Yep. Yep.
3 was... I honestly like 2 and 3. 3 was just so much more. So much more. It was just more. It was everything 2 was, but so much more of it. And I mean a lot more of it. And it's a great formula. There's actually, as far as modding communities go too, there's... I can't remember for the life of me the dude's name, but there's still an active community that plays Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It's a strategy game. It's just tremendous. It's fairly easy to learn, actually. It's a little daunting at first, but you realize that even though there's a bunch of resources and stuff, it's really not that hard. There's really only a few things to do. But you quickly, it's one of those things where it doesn't take too long to learn, but the mastery of it is insane.
Yeah.
And the strategery.
Yeah.
But people still are out there and they mod it, and there's some mods out there that let you... They really breathe new life into the game again. And I'm telling you, it stands the test of time. That game will forever be good. And that's why I'm weighing it in at number 4, because I could play that the rest of my days.
Rest of your days. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what do you got, my friend, for number 4?
Number 4, caveat, with mods, I will play Skyrim.
Okay, good choice.
I like Skyrim. In fact, I've been playing Skyrim on the Switch just to try it out. I'm not happy with the Switch version because you can't mod it. So it's.
But what do you think of the controls? Did you do the
Yeah,
controls?
it's neat, but I think the point of the Switch version is not that it's going to be so like this big, huge game that you can mod. It's portable.
It's portable.
Yeah, that's what the deal is. So the graphics are a little bit toned down, and still the game. And I still have that when I play the game. I just like it. I just
great.
like the world. Don't get me wrong. I love the earlier Elder Scrolls. I love Oblivion, but there's just something about how the game starts. I mean, Oblivion had Patrick Stewart as the king as soon as the game starts, and that was just awesome. But this game, I don't know, just sucks you into it, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about the werewolves. I got to join that clan this time because I didn't do it last time.
Sure.
It's just a blast. I just really enjoy the game.
I'd say that that pretty much goes for the Switch anyway, though. Unless it's a Nintendo exclusive, you're buying it because you want it to be portable.
Yes.
Because you're not getting the best graphics set of, it's not a fair fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw them compare it, and it's mostly like foliage that they had to tone down and some draw distances. So it's not bad.
Oh no, I'm sure it's not.
not
It's
bad.
just that's not a fair fight at all.
Yeah. No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's just not a fair fight. You're comparing two different things, and the Switch's claim to fame is that you can pick it up and go.
Yeah.
Well, hell, it's literally named a Switch for a reason.
And I definitely, that's when if I go to my in-laws' house, I can see myself playing some Skyrim while I'm sitting there, and,
Sure. Bonding with family.
Bonding with the family
Yeah.
in the living room, like usual. But
Yeah, everybody looking at their
own devices.
electronic
We're-
device.
yeah, everyone else is on their their iPhones and stuff, and I could be on my Switch and
Yeah.
just fighting monsters and going through caves.
Modern day family, but
So that's, to me, that's fun.
oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
So
Well,
that's
this
number-
one,
yep.
I have a story for
Number
it.
3, right?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if I'm breaking the rules here. Although
Yes.
it doesn't matter because I'm not anymore.
Yes.
When I added this to my list, I've never played this game,
Oh, okay. So you told me about this last week.
and I did not own this game.
You did. Do you own it yet?
It went on sale, so I happened to buy this game.
Oh.
But I still haven't played it.
Oh, typical. Yeah. So you play it sometime next year when you finally acclimates to your Steam folder.
I don't think everyone out there understands just how cheap I am. It's just I get my value at everything. But no, it is Need for Speed Heat is what
Oh.
I put on the list, and I was completely comfortable doing that sight unseen because I now own 4 Need for Speed games on my PS4 alone. I've played possibly every Need for Speed game at some point.
Yeah.
I enjoy them to no end. In fact, I used to like the Gran Turismo games, or Turismo, however you say that, but
Yeah.
my
pretty
coworker of mine
popular.
turned me off to them. He says it's like a braking simulator. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh,
It's like when Russ told us that Maiden
Iron
just
Maiden
is a
was-
gallop.
and
All I
every-
hear is the effing gallop.
every time you hear Iron Man and
All I
yeah.
hear, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, God, you fucked up Maiden on me.
Yeah.
But
It's true,
yeah,
too.
So Gran Turismo, as much as I love the game, all you're doing is braking.
Yep.
Need for Speed is like physics, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, let's just hold down the gas.
Yeah.
And let's just not stop doing that and see what happens.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I do in Mario Kart too.
It's freaking great. It is just truly, like I said, I played Need for Speed just on PS4. It's just literally called Need for Speed. I bought Payback. I've only played that a little bit. I got Rivals, and I've been hooked to Rivals. It is a fantastic game. I can't endorse it enough. And Heat, if I'm not mistaken, is the latest in the series.
Oh.
And so it just went on sale. I just bought it, and the only reason I've not played it yet is I'm not done with Rivals. I've still got shit I gotta do. But they're great though. If the controls are exceptionally similar. So once you know how to play one of them, you know how to play all of them. And
So do you use controllers to play, or are you a keyboard mouse guy for driving?
oh, absolutely controller, all day long controller. Yeah. To be honest with you, if I had my pick, I would use the D-pad. I would never actually use that analog stick.
Yeah.
I would never use that in my life because I'm old. But you have to use the analog stick for this.
Yeah.
And the trigger is your gas and your brake, and that's weird to
Uh-huh.
me. You get used to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the PS5 because you're supposed to have resistance in the game manufacturing program. The resistances to those buttons.
Yeah, that is fascinating.
So you're supposed to be able to feel that in the whole controller. I can't wait to try that out.
I just love that, like a racing game.
Yeah.
I've been doing this my whole life. I press harder to go
Yes.
faster.
Yes, and now I feel like it really matters
Yeah,
because
it-
then it'll be like there's some resistance there. You're like, yes,
I'm doing something.
yeah, the euphoria. Yes, it's going faster.
So I don't know if that's breaking the rules, but
Yeah.
again, I can guarantee the first time I play Need for Speed Heat, I will be fairly adept at it.
Well, I think I would hope that if we're on a desert island, some games might wash up on the shore.
You never know.
Yes, you never know.
How do we end up here? There's
Yes.
a lot of questions about
There's
this
a lot.
island.
Yes, and no volleyballs.
And where's this internet coming from?
Yes,
But
I
whatever.
know. Satellite.
So yeah. So again, I'm sticking with the genres.
Yes.
You can see I'm bouncing around to just kind of get a representation of everything.
Yes, and I didn't do that. Mine, you can tell from my picks that they're very large games.
Yeah.
Apart from
sense.
Portal 2.
Well, don't worry. You can come over to my hut and we'll play games together
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Um,
Well, again, I didn't know we're gonna be in the same island. So, so my number 3 pick is Fallout 3 with mods.
There it is. Okay,
There
good.
it is.
Because I was gonna,
Yeah.
we were gonna have a real problem if you somehow put New Vegas above Fallout 3.
No, Fallout 3 is better.
That does mean though you put New Vegas above Fallout 4.
Well, yes and no, is because I was gonna be depressed anyways because we weren't on the same island, so it was like, what else could I put here if I can't play Unreal Tournament?
That's
It was
great.
kind of a half pick, really.
I got you.
Yeah, it was really Unreal Tournament 2004.
I definitely have to play New Vegas more. I only beat one of the storylines, and you yelled at me for it. I don't even know if you remember, but
Yeah.
I helped Mr. House.
Yeah, he's the funnest to kill.
Yeah, that's who I helped him
Yeah.
first.
So you helped the bad guy. So
I helped
yeah.
the bad guy first.
Yeah.
Yep. So
See,
I got to go back
You
to
can't
that.
play an evil character right off the rip. That's your second playthrough.
Au contraire, mon frère.
yeah. No, you got to play through normal. And what's his name from Friends? Chandler.
Chandler? Okay.
Yeah. So Chandler.
I know his name if I think about it long and hard.
He's the one that is. He said he was a fan of Fallout, so they put him in the game, and he's the one who shoots you. So that's
okay.
Chandler.
Yeah. Oh, I did not realize that was Chandler Bing there.
It is.
The
Chandler
hell is
Bing.
his name. All I
Yeah,
can think
who
is
knows?
Joe Scarborough, which
Yeah.
is hysterical because he's not Joe Scarborough.
Yeah.
But let's face it, Joe Scarborough did. You look like Chandler Bing. We all know it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so the Chandler Bing that shoots you, puts you in the hole in the game. So that's. I thought that was cool that he really loved Fallout 3, and they put him in this game.
I'm so irritated that when I drive home, I'm going to think of that dude's name.
The dude's name.
Chandler
Bing.
Bing's name.
It's Chandler. I thought we're okay with just naming whoever we know him from.
No, I'm fine with that. It's just going to irritate me when I actually Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. That's it. I was thinking Luke Perry.
Going to irritate the hell right out of me.
Matthew Perry. Don't get me wrong, it really is a good game, that New Vegas. It really is. But Fallout 3, better, and especially with mods where you can change the look of the game, the play of the game. I always throw in the mods because it's the oldest of the group.
Yeah.
So I put the graphic mods into it, and it changes all the textures and just updates it.
Because I didn't find that to be a particularly ugly game anyway.
It wasn't terribly ugly. It just said I want to be a little prettier. And one thing you'll notice when you play the game, you won't be able to unsee it now, but there's a green tint in every single screen.
Okay.
There's a green tint no matter where you are.
Nice.
And when you play it a few times, you're like, this is just too green for me. So there's a mod that just makes it more like blue skies.
Well,
you know?
I'm convinced from watching so many movies from Hollywood, I'm convinced that Mexico is just in sepia.
Oh, yeah.
Like you go there and you're in sepia.
It's
That's
possible.
just how it works.
It is
from
very
what
possible.
I can tell. Hollywood told me so.
So I can't say enough about Fallout 3, but if you're going to play it, GOG, otherwise it's going to be unstable, or Xbox 360,
Yeah.
but you won't be able to mod it.
Yeah.
So-
And when he says unstable, he means unplayable.
Yeah, very unplayable.
It
Oh,
really,
it's a shame.
I'm amazed I played that game as much as I did, considering how volatile and just unusable it was. But ironically, the Good Old Games version I installed, I haven't even touched it.
Yep.
But it is literally installed on the machine right now. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, if you've not played Fallout 3, I'll throw New Vegas in there, but it's not that New Vegas is bad. It's the least favorite for me. It's my least favorite of the three.
Yeah.
Being 3, New Vegas, and 4.
Yeah.
But they're phenomenal games. Really good pick too. Tons of.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Oh.
replay those indefinitely.
I just like it, and I know there's stuff I just haven't had the time to go and really explore. Cause
Absolutely.
I've watched a bunch of videos. I've forgotten about these vaults. I'm like, I've never been in that vault, because there's like 30 vaults around this.
Oh,
whole,
yeah.
And I'm like, they're all interesting.
And they all have a little story to them.
A little
or at least
story.
most of them do. And
They're all. Yeah, sometimes you got to read computers to get the story.
Yep.
But yeah, and you can realize that every single vault was bad.
Yep.
Every one of them.
Yep.
Even the one you started was actually an experiment.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's just wonderful storylines, and they're grim. I mean, not for nothing, guys. Just you signing up for a post-apocalyptic game. Yeah. It's grim on top of grim.
Yeah. And Liam Neeson's your dad.
Yep, exactly. And what's not to like?
I know. And he loses his kid. I mean, come on, it's a thing.
So that was number 3. Boy,
It's number 3, Fallout 3. Yep.
I'm like stunned. What could 2 and 1 be? They're just.
Yes, excited. But what's your number 2?
I'm just stunned. Well, again, to me, this is no surprise. I guess maybe it is a surprise. It's Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh.
And
So you're gonna be in an desert island. And you just want to just rip people's heads off with their spine hanging out.
absolutely.
Of course you do. It was a rhetorical question.
So, why MK11? Well, I needed a fighter represent. I needed to have a fighting game. Absolutely. Yes. And I'm sorry, Street Fighter. I love you. I really do love Street Fighter games. Yep. Ken is my man, always will be. But to your point, there's nothing quite like ripping somebody's spine out.
Yes.
They're just brutal. I mean, they're just so gruesome that even I'm appalled at times. And it just makes me laugh. Where I'm like, wow, wherever the line is, I got to look way back to find it because you were so far past it. And,
so you think they'll put this in Nintendo anytime soon with it uncut?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
No.
But MK11 being the latest, it's just more variety, more characters, more gruesome stuff, more stupid things. They've added friendships back via the latest Aftermath DLC.
Yes. And since I'm terrible at the game, you get to practice all your friendship moves.
I love it. Yeah.
On me, and I got to see them, and they're funny. Don't get me wrong, they're very funny.
And it's a solid fighting game. And again, I like the fighting games. I started with Street Fighter 2, so that's always going to be special to me.
Yeah.
But I guess push come to shove, I choose the Mortal Kombat series.
That's why this is our last list was the special games. These are more the games we're going to play the rest of our lives.
Exactly. So unfortunately, I'm going to forget all about Ryu and Ken and their Hadoukens, and I'm going to, say get over here and then cut somebody's head off.
Yeah. The Joker, I liked his moveset, and I did like the Terminator moveset, even though it was no good at him.
Yeah.
And I kind of did Joker a little bit.
You got to love the characters though. The Spawn. I mean, he's got ones that are right up your alley. RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just got some great
your move creep
characters, and I don't know who else is coming out, but they will continue to add characters for that, and it's tremendous. And just honestly, just the interactions amaze me because each character interacts somewhat differently with each other.
Yeah.
So you're constantly finding a combination you've just never seen before. So suddenly, like, oh wow, the Joker's fighting the Terminator, and every once in a while, the Joker will say something that's custom for the Terminator, and so you'll hear something like, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Like I've
Call
never heard
a robot
that.
Or bucket of bolts or something.
Yeah, and it'll blow your mind. Yeah. So it's just it's fun, but it's all built around this solid fighter. It's a good game.
And that was your number 2?
That's my number 2. So what do you got? My
number 2 is Uncharted 4.
Okay.
Because I start really thinking about it, and I have played Uncharted 4 probably about 5 or 6 times now. It's a game I don't get sick of.
Yeah,
and
you said that. Yeah.
I think I read a stat the other day is 20% of the time people are just standing in the game.
Yeah, you said that, just looking around.
Just looking around, and I feel like I do the same thing.
I was going to say, I bet you were like 45%.
Yeah, I do stand and look around. I just think it's beautiful. I've recorded a lot of scenes. There's actually a famous scene when they first demoed for the conference that they do, the electronics conference their control didn't work. So it was like in the middle of the game. They were in this little town, and the controller just broke, and they had to get another controller to finish the game. But the guy was just standing there. So if you go to the exact same spot in the game now, and you just stand there for 60 seconds, you get an achievement called Stage Fright.
Oh, that's great.
I think it's awesome that Naughty Games did that.
Yeah, they acknowledged because
hiccup.
That was a shitty day for somebody.
It was a shitty day, but the game is, when it's well made, it's a fun story. In fact, it's going to be a movie at some point. They're making a movie on this because these games are so good. They want to make a movie on Uncharted. They want to make a movie on Last of Us, and they're in the works. I think the actors have been cast. Holloway, Spider-Man, got cast as the Nathan. So, yeah. So what's his name?
So he's gonna be young.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be like a prequel.
Oh, I gotcha.
It's gonna be like a prequel, and I think he's awesome. I really like him as the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think I've seen 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, it's decent.
It's got the what's his face that in the Spider movie we like is in the second movie.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. He's the bad guy.
In the Spider movie we like
the 2 Spider-Men. But Uncharted 4 worth playing. It's a very, I don't know.
Somebody's cursing us right now.
Yeah,
it wasn't a recommendation. I just want to say that.
Yes.
He said, "Don't watch this."
Yeah.
You did it anyway.
You watch Enemy and you watch
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, I know. But childhood Goonies.
Yeah.
I love that. So Uncharted 4, and actually most of the Uncharted, but specifically Uncharted 4, is Goonies as an adult. It's just, you're hunting down pirate treasure. You're getting little, you find little spots to say, okay, go here next. And, it's a treasure hunt. And I just a blast, and I feel like I'm participating in it because there are some awesome set pieces. There's a set piece where you're being dragged by a rope by vehicles, and you pull yourself up onto the truck, jump from truck to truck, shooting people, and then hop onto a motorcycle. Then you can hop back onto a truck. It's just like a blast. It's just a ride, a thrill ride to play that game. I can't. It's my number 2 because it's just damn fun.
I'm definitely gonna.
Damn fun.
God, I'm telling you, where do you find the time? Because I definitely have to give.
Play
that
all of
series.
them. They're worth all playing. They're all good. Every one of them. One is the worst because it was an early Naughty Dog game, but it's still good.
I always give the first one a somewhat of a pass anyway.
The first one, they learned that magic yellow paint, this is where you need to go. And the first one, no. So there's a couple spots in the game like, where do I go now?
Oh, yeah.
So that happens in the first game.
Oh, you can maybe do that on the title screen.
Where do I go?
Oh, new game? What? I could be anything.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So that's the only problem with the first game is that, and some people might like that, but I was like, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And so eventually I figured it out, but I'm like, that took way too long to figure out just where to walk.
Yeah. So they corrected that and gave you highlighting in the latter games?
Yeah, and 2 through 4, easy.
Well, I got to play
follow
1
along.
just because you told me 2 starts basically right on the heels of 1, and I got to know how I got there.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
That's a good pick, though.
And then, your number 1 pick, sir.
It's probably going to make you laugh because it's not a new game by any measure.
That's okay. Play it the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Number
I'm going
1.
to.
What is the best game ever to play on a desert island?
I'll be honest, I would have answered this for years. For a long time, I would have the same answer, and probably for a long time after. I'm going with Civ 2.
Oh,
I'm going to go. I love building the empire.
but how are you going to play the game? Do you have a copy of it?
Well,
somewhere?
exactly. Well, like I said, we're going to be on the island together. I'm just
Yes.
going to call my friend Kevin. He's going to get it to work.
Oh, get it to work somehow. Yes. Yeah. Who cares about piracy when you're on an island?
Seriously, Good Old Games, if you're listening, again, you should be sponsoring us. But aside from that, get to Civ 2. Seriously, I miss it. I want it to work. I would play it now, even though I do have the latest and greatest in every Civ game I've bought.
Yeah.
Cheap old me buys Civ games at full price.
I think I have 5 that I've never played yet. So I have that at least. I think I got on Steam.
I enjoy them, but 2 is always magical because 2 had a couple things going for it. It had videos that got them old. Doesn't sound like much, but like when you built the Pyramids of Giza, you got to see a video of the Pyramids of Giza, and I freaking loved that. And I talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. If you guys play that game at all, you do not understand just how good fundamentalism was. It was the equivalent of activating a cheat.
I think it's like that in real life too.
It was just that good. Your people were so pissed at you. Everyone thought you sucked. You finally researched fundamentalism. You turned that on. Everybody loved you.
Yes.
It was that quick.
Yeah. And the people didn't. No one ever saw them
Yeah,
again.
no, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We do la la la.
There's nothing to see
You
here.
love me.
So yeah, and again, it's the same game. Every Civ is the same story. It's mankind to basically either domination or space race. I usually go space race. I like to build a rocket.
Yeah.
But hours of enjoyment out of that one, and I'm telling you, can't wait to be able to play it again. So
That's awesome.
So hopefully my list, like I said, I went for variety. I wanted to cover a little something from every genre. So I got shooters, I got strategy, I got action.
I like the fact that our lists were completely different, except for one entry.
It had to be. But yeah, so...
And the same entry.
Yeah, I don't think your number one's going to be Civ 2, but it
does.
I knew we both have UT2K4, because how do you not?
Yeah, how do you not?
But the fact that it landed at 6 for both of us is
Yeah.
pretty mind-boggling. But what is your number one, my friend? Because I am anxious to know.
This is also a cheat, because in my mind, if you can take a save game from 1, put in 2, and put in 3, it's one game.
Oh, that is entirely a cheat. You got to
Yes.
pick one of the Mass Effects.
Nope. The whole trilogy is number 1, because you got to play them all through, all the way to the end, because it's one complete story. So
Damn it.
Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 counts as one.
I could have gotten a gold box game
Yeah.
on here, because you can turn...
Oh, you can move the
4
saves.
games in a row.
There
man.
you go. So,
Um,
so I say, if you can move the save game,
That's awesome.
that's my rule. If you can move the use the same save game through all the games, it's one game.
That doesn't apply to any games on my list.
Yes.
but I liked it anyway.
Because even though there were some disappointments in Mass Effect 1 and 3, yeah, what?
This is important, actually,
Yes.
and I hope the fans realize.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? He cheats.
Yeah, I cheated.
Just cheats.
Oh, I
But,
cheat.
Just
You
throwing
cheat
that
too.
out there. I
cheat too.
entirely do, but I call you out on it more.
Activated.
Activated.
But even though Mass Effect 2 is the crowning, if you had to make me pick, it would be Mass Effect 2.
I figured as much. Yeah.
And even though Mass Effect 3 is still better than Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 was kind of disappointing in my opinion.
Well,
They're
I'm
lucky
I
I played Mass Effect 2.
Because now if 2 is a quarter as good as you say it is.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it.
It looks like you got 30 hours into it when I look last.
Yeah, you do know most of it.
Oh, yeah, most of it's like just paused, yeah.
And going and doing other things for a few hours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm nowhere near 30 hours into that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if I'm half of that. But be that as it may, it's 3 is still damn near full price.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Mass Effect 3 is one of those things where, yes, the ending is disappointing for some people. Me, it didn't ruin my childhood. I was fine with it.
Okay.
It did ruin some of their philosophy, and I can understand why people didn't like the ending of Mass Effect 3, but it's the ride. The entire Mass Effect 3 game itself was awesome and dramatic and more Martin Sheen. You know, like way more Martin Sheen
When
in
did
the
3
third
come
game.
out, considering it's still full price? I haven't seen it on sale yet.
Because it's an EA game. EA, because they own BioWare,
Yeah.
they don't put their stuff on sale very often at all. It's. I paid full price for every one of both 2 copies I
I'm
have.
willing to wager anything. There's no way I bought Mass Effect 1 and 2 without a sale. Absolutely none.
Well, I think there was a sale once
I think I
when they
caught it.
first went to Steam because they weren't in Steam. You had to go to the EA store, Origin, to get the games for the longest time.
Oh, I hated that Origin sale.
But that's a version. So I repurchased them at full price.
Yeah.
On Steam because I don't want to ever open Origin if I don't have to.
Sure.
But Dragon Age, I haven't seen if Dragon Age Inquisition is on Steam yet. I should look.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because that's also so. Those are the 2 games I am forced to open the Origin system for. Is for Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
There seems to be an evolution here because I'm starting to do this now, where you buy a game on Steam because it's on sale, and then a few years later I buy it in Good Old Games because I want to play it.
Yeah, basically. So I'm gonna look to see Dragon Age 4 is on some other platform because I'll eventually buy that. But Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, it's an experience. The whole thing is an experience. You really need to play all 3 games to get the whole thing.
He tells me now.
Yeah, I know. You need all 3.
So basically what you're telling me is when I finally get through 2 and I say, yay, Kevin can't yell at me anymore.
Yes.
It just means you're just changing the number.
Yeah, basically when you finish Mass Effect 2, you're gonna like more. I need to know what happens.
When I finished Mass Effect 1, I was like, okay.
Yeah, they tried to make the ending very dramatic, like, we're going to fight, dun, dun, dun. And they had the whole ending where he left as a traveler. We're going to find out how to get these Reapers. And, yeah, no one cared.
I'm like, yeah, what else?
Yeah, they're lucky they
guys.
made a second game after that first game. I thought the first game
I didn't find it
was
to be
disappointing.
I didn't find it to be that disappointing, to be honest with you. It was... You didn't have the emotional bonds, I guess. Like, I love that.
Well, you killed one of the best
Garrus
characters.
Dude. Yeah, I know. Every time, no matter which way I spun.
Yeah.
But, like, that's a great example. I didn't want to kill Rex.
Yeah.
So I went back and I changed the way I answered questions. And you know what happened?
Yeah.
I fucking shot Rex. Every time I shot Rex. It just didn't matter what I did. I shot Rex.
Because you need to learn how to be nice.
And, yeah.
Yeah, you're like...
Not like that.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said.
But, yeah, and eventually I just said, oh, fuck it, Rex is dead.
Yeah.
You know, moving on.
Moving on. Sorry, Rex.
Sorry, Rex.
I'll have a drink to you.
Yep. I'll always remember you fondly, buddy. But, you know, no matter what I did, I had to shoot you. So that's hysterical.
Yes.
But I can see your point about a lot of replayability. For any one of them, too. A lot of replayability because you do, even when you're playing any one of them, pretty much your first conversation, you're like, oh, I'm going to play this again.
Yeah.
Because I want to answer entirely differently and see what happens.
Yes. I knew right away I'm going to fall in love with them. Plus, your sci-fi, as you can tell, that's really what I kind of lean.
Oh, yeah.
The sci-fi, the post-apocalyptic. That's really, I do love the fantasy stuff, but then sci-fi trumps it.
If I had to pick, yeah, it would never, and I do love the fantasy, but yeah, all day, every day, I'm more of a Buck Rogers than I am Lord of the Rings any day of the week.
But I will throw another recommendation out for you. Mass Effect Andromeda, which came out not that long ago, is worth playing, but you have to pretend it's not a Mass Effect game.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's a good game on its own. It just doesn't.
But the
do
fact that you
anything.
put Mass Effect next to it,
Yeah.
the expectations were so much more than the game was even capable of doing. It was still a good game.
Yeah.
Well done. The fighting was way better, way superior than all the Mass Effects. You can, have jetpacks and stuff. There's way
Nice.
more dynamic battles. But the story itself didn't cut it.
I noticed there is a jump button. I know because I validated that I did in fact bind it to space, which I'm trying, guys. Jump is E.
Yeah, E.
But I'm trying.
Spacebar.
I know I'm wrong there. Yeah, I know I'm wrong there. I'm
It's always
trying
spacebar.
to get it to be space.
I'm used to
But you
doing
can't
that.
jump in that game. Like, every once in a while you have to jump. But for the most part, you can't jump in that
Yeah,
game.
you just vault over certain objects.
Yeah. Oh, that's annoying too. Yeah, because it's just. So it's not. You're right. The range of mobility in Mass Effect 2 is not what I'd expect it to be. I guess.
Yeah, they didn't. It's like games. One thing, once you see this, you'll like, how come this is a thing in games? But mirrors. Games are like 20 years old, like Duke Nukem. You
Yeah.
can see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
But then from like after that till like 5 years ago, you go in a mirror, they're just grayed out.
Oh yeah, they don't even try.
Yeah, they don't even attempt it.
Props to Doom.
Yeah.
Doom 2016.
2016. Oh yeah, that was a new
Do
version.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
The one where you look in the mirror and then all of a sudden it turns to hell on you, and
That's
it's
awesome.
just effing great.
That's awesome.
Because you didn't see it coming.
But games now, like Uncharted and all that, the mirror functions.
No, okay. Yeah.
So they're back to making the mirrors function again.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, mirrors just stopped functioning.
Yeah.
Like, no reflection? That's not possible.
It was 7 years of bad luck. That's
7
what
years.
They had to wait it out.
They had to wait it out. So yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda is worth a play because it's beautiful, terrible story.
Fair enough. Okay. So Mass Effect for your number one makes sense.
Yes, I love it.
Actually, you know the story to the 7 years bad luck? Do you know why that's a thing?
No.
On a mirror?
No.
It's so sad, actually. Well, if somehow you're listening and you're the one person that doesn't know that it's supposed to be 7 years bad luck when you break a mirror, the reason is really simple. Mirrors were very expensive when
Yeah.
they became a thing. And so they told the servants that, so they didn't break the mirror.
Oh. Okay.
So it's basically, it's 7 years bad luck if you're poor.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's more or less it. It's just a folklore. There's no bad luck for breaking a mirror, other than the fact that you now have a broken mirror, and that's kind of a pain in the butt to clean up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, make a mess.
So it is bad luck. It's just I
Yes.
don't think it has the lingering effect that is attached to it. Well, this hour and 11, not too bad for us. I do want to throw a few things out there, though. We got some new material coming soon. Looking forward to that. We're going to try to do more stuff like this. We're just kind of branching out. So again, we want to hear from you. Tell us what you like. I know people like the list. They like our recommendations.
Yes.
So we'll keep doing that. Our Thursday shows are typically when we've been recording what I'll call the regular format show. But we're going to keep doing these weird little things. And, again, this is about all of us. So we want to hear from you, what you like, what you don't, what you'd like to hear more of. And we'll be sure to accommodate. And I want to give a kind of a shout-out and an anti-shout-out. So the first shout-out I'm going to give is to Taman. He actually gave us a few corrections, which we'll have to bring up Thursday because, mutilated some of the music. All I can remember is It's Only Happy When It Rains was garbage. Thank you, Taman. I forgot, and I don't know what the Evanescence song was because all that she wants
Bring Me
is
to
another
Life,
baby.
or-
It
yeah.
was Bring Me to Life.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Something about baby? Was it Britney Spears?
It was an Ace of Base song.
Yeah, Ace of Base. Oh, all I need is another baby. All that she wants. Sorry.
That's the one, yeah. That's what I threw out there.
Yeah, it's a rare when I get any lyrics correct. You guys will know that.
So shout out to Taman. He's proven to be our biggest fan right now, being the most vocal, so really appreciate that. And Steve, why haven't you subscribed? Seriously, Steve. Yes, Steve, I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Subscribe, buddy.
Yes, if
It's
you're listening to
free.
this in your road trip,
Yeah.
you better subscribe.
I love that you're driving and all, and it's awesome that you're listening, but subscribe. It's not that hard, Steve.
Yes, thank you, sir.
But yes, thank you, everyone. So with that, though, that was our list of games we're going to play on a desert island, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, we're going to have more content coming soon. So I don't think we kind of went through Contact Us enough. So I'm just going to say with that, this is Sean,
This is Kevin.
and that's the one other thing.
Good night.